Victor Wembanyama had a great offensive outing today. He bounced back from the terrible offensive game he had during his first summer league game. In this game, he was pretty much awesome on the offensive end. Just he was amazing. The only thing I could say that he didn't do well in this game was his free throw shooting wasn't really good. He only shot 7 for 12, which is kind of surprising because in France, I believe he was an 80% free throw shooter, so his free throws were a little bit off. I would say also he had 3 turnovers, but overall it was a really good game. He had 27 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks, and he had shot 50% from three, 2 for 4. One thing I really liked about this game, if for Victor offensively, is like I felt he mixed it up on the offensive end. He did a different variety of things to score today. His mid range, he went to a few times. He hit some mid range jump shots, which I think he should do. But I think once he hit a few mid range jump shots, it opened up the game for him, which I've always felt that when a player hits his mid range, it leads to good things and it leads you to feeling confident about even hitting your 3 point shots. So I've always felt the mid range is a great tool to have when it comes to giving you confidence all around when it comes to your offense. Once he hit those first two mid range shots, I think that's when his confidence just skyrocketed and he just took over. I also was amazed by his post up game. He posted up a few times, which I liked. He was looking to do it a few times. I didn't expect him to be really a good post up player, but his post up moves were, I would say good in this game. Just so he had some of that going. Obviously, it's not on Tim Duncan's level, but I liked what I saw, and he did hit a few threes. So all in all, he was pretty good. Also, he had a few exciting dunks. I think that's what everybody wanted to see the first game. But I have to say, if you didn't see the first game, I would say not so much if you didn't see the first game. If you were a celebrity or a fan and you saw the first game, but you didn't see the second game, obviously you had to feel disappointed because you picked the wrong game to go to. I didn't get why people didn't buy tickets for the second game. That's a game I would have been more anxious to see because most likely if I would say if you're usually a good player, you bounce back. So kind of shocked these celebrities didn't buy tickets to the second game. But then again, they tend to be fair weathered. But he looked a lot more happier out there. He seemed to be more joyful playing the game. I felt today versus the other night where he admitted the next day that he felt lost out there and he just didn't feel comfortable. I think today he just really asserted himself. So it's good to see him have a great game in summer league. But I'll say this: ultimately, summer league doesn't really determine how good you are or even how bad you are at times. I've seen summer league over the years where there's some guys that look great in the summer league and you think like, wow, this dude's going to light up the league. And then you see this guy as being like a 12th man or just out of the league within like a few months. So I wouldn't judge guys solely by summer league. It can be a tool. It can give us some idea of what skills they're good at, but ultimately I wouldn't judge it. That's why I laughed when people were saying after the first game, these extremists were screaming, Victor's a boss. Victor's going to be trash. He's not ready for the league. He's not ready for this. So I think people jump to conclusions too quickly without just letting it play out. And I think it's even the same for this game. He played really good, but you can't assume just based off of this game he's going to dominate the league and he's going to suddenly be averaging 20 and 10. So I think people should be patient and cautious about it. But one thing I'll say, he looks like a really good talent out there. The only thing I find concerning is that he falls down a lot when he's trying to hustle or get these loose balls. My fear is he could get injured that way. So I hope Spurs can find some way for him to play a little bit smarter instead of trying to dive or fall down on the ground because he's very long. So I would be concerned about that. The other thing I would be concerned about, I've noticed, is how the last two summer league games, teams have really played him physical. They've roughed him up, and they're just going at him hard and taking some cheap shots in both of these games I observed. Hopefully Spurs have some guys to step up when that happens. I like Zach Collins. He tends to have an enforcer type of personality. I think he'll be important coming to the season. So Chan can be dirty, so I think you got to have some guys to step up and play that enforcer role when teams decide to rough up Victor. The other thing I would say I'm concerned about is when he takes threes, he kicks his foot out and he can get hurt by someone undercutting him or doing a dirty play like that. There was one play where the Portland center who was guarding him just stepped on his foot when he took that three with his leg kicked out. So those things I am concerned about just because they can result in injury. And hopefully Spurs have some techniques on how to address that, especially the way he shoots, the way he falls. I remember the Spurs actually many years ago taught Tony Parker how to fall properly after going for a layup or those types of drives. The same with Manu. And it helped reduce injuries for both of those guys greatly throughout their careers, where none of them really suffered a major injury, at least during their primes. So I think the Spurs will devise something for him, but that's all I have to say.